Dogs and Stingray are coming for you. Hoo, 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 hoo. This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn. Worst defense ever! So without further ado, here is the biggest Alabama going for the field goal. The kick is up. It is away. It is no good. Chris Davis bringing it out of the end zone. Oh, he's got blockers. Chris Davis up the sideline. Here he goes. Here we go, guys. Dobbs back to pass. Launching the ball. Jennings, he's got it. Jennings, he's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. They shocked the Dogs in Sanford Stadium. Are you kidding me? My God almighty. What an epic way for the Tennessee-Georgia rivalry to end this game. What a play. Wow. Welcome inside another exciting edition of the Stingray Show, everybody. I am your host, Stephen Ray, and as you can see back here behind me, I've got the tiger head and I've got the tiger paw, and I'm wearing the blue, so we must be talking about Auburn, and that's exactly right. But first, before we get into our guests, let me go on ahead and pull up my co-host, Heath Hopkins. Heath, how are you doing today, sir?
Steven, I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself? Hey, the beard's looking good, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. When are you going to grow yours?
No shave November, right?
Yes. So, man, I tell you what, we have a big-time guest on the show today. Yes,
very special guest. A lot of questions I want to ask him. How in the world he escaped the state of Louisiana to end up to play his college career where he did, and talk a little bit about his NFL career.
Absolutely. And let me just go on ahead and roll the highlights here. And this guy actually went to Auburn as a wide receiver, but then wound up playing a cornerback his last year. And as you can see right here, he made a awesome interception and a big-time interception in the game on the road at Kansas State. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see him right there. We're going to talk all about this play and that game. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 25, the one and only Trovon Reed. Trovon, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I love that introduction. Hey, it sounds like I'm getting ready for a game right now. I love that.
So, but man, first off, thank you for joining us. And what are you doing nowadays?
I just got done with my playing career, getting ready to get into coaching. Have a few high school head coaching opportunities coming here soon. So, diving straight in.
Oh man, that's awesome. So, are you back in Auburn, or where are you living?
Yes, sir. I'm back in Auburn right now. Me, my future wife and my daughter. We here in Auburn, just waiting. Got some interviews coming up this week, actually. So, y'all guys will hear some good news from me here soon.
Awesome, man. Well, so are you going to try and do some coaching around Auburn or wherever?
Where it's most likely wherever.
Right.
Hopefully around here in Auburn, you have a few opportunities, but with this coaching thing, you can't call it. So wherever God land me, that's where I'll be.
Yes.
Trovon, I wanted to ask you, you were such a great player coming out of high school there in Thibodaux, Louisiana. How did you escape the state of Louisiana and end up Auburn? Talk about that recruitment process for your going into your college career.
The recruitment process, it was crazy as normal. I was one of the best guys in the state, blessed to be the best guys in the state. And they got real rough when it was time to commit. They don't play in Louisiana. They love football and they love LSU.
They love very much LSU, yeah.
And when I say this, it's no disrespect to LSU, but the way the process was going, like, I just lost my mom. My dad wasn't really around. And as a kid, I was 17 years old. I just needed love. I just needed that family atmosphere. I needed family. I needed to feel like somebody had my back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's around when Coach Chid started the family thing. We family. We all in. We together. And it just gave me everything I was looking for as a kid. I believed in my ability that I could have went to any school and played. But that family atmosphere was amazing, and it sold me. And to this day, that's why I wear orange and blue everywhere I go with pride.
Talk about your recruitment real quick. You know, I've been to Thibodaux. I've made jokes with people back during my television days and reporting days. I had to cover a game there in Thibodaux with Nicholls State and I believe Northwestern State way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people all the time, the greatest meal I've ever had was at a gas station in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
What gas station?
Man, I went in there. I don't even know, but I do know. I walked in there and I was shocked to see them putting shrimp in. I said, "How fresh is that?" And she said, "It was swimming this morning." And I said, "Well, how much is it by the pound?" And so she said, "I can cook it up right here for you." And so I got a couple of pounds, bought some cocktail sauce off the shelf, and I started eating. It was amazing.
Hey, that's Louisiana for you now. Hey, one thing about it, we got the best food in the world.
I'm not arguing that point at all.
Hey,
I'm not arguing at all. And for the folks that don't know, I'm a geography nerd. A lot of folks don't know where Thibodaux is. And I tell people, you got to get to New Orleans, then go south. You're about 45, 50 minutes away from New Orleans, correct?
Correct. 100% correct.
And so a lot of people think once you get to New Orleans, you go into the Gulf. It's like, no, you can keep going a little bit further south. But there in Thibodaux, you know, and you mentioned you're the number one player in the state.
Mm-hmm.
What was LSU telling you? Of course, Les Miles was coaching there at the time, but what was LSU telling you to come to LSU and made you decide that, hey, I'm going to go try this thing out over in Auburn?
They was basically telling me what I should have listened to, but I was just a young kid, honestly. They was telling me that. Now you got to think, I've been an offensive guy my whole life, and they was telling me, look, we might put you on defense over here, so you got the athletic ability to do it, so we might put you on defense. So I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hit nobody. I ain't trying to do none of that. So it's crazy because it all tie in. So they tell me that, then I tell them, no, I don't want to play defense. I want to play offense. They're like, okay, cool. I go to Alabama for a recruitment trip. Nick Saban, he was like, listen, your tapes, and I'm not just saying it because this and that. You're one of the best athletes I've seen on the offensive side because you can line up at any position. Because in high school, I played running back, quarterback, everything. And wherever I was kind of dominant over there. So, and I was playing against great competition, the Tyrann Matthew, Jarvis Landry, those guys. So he was like, if you want to make it to the next level, you gotta go to the defensive side. X them off. I'm like, well, I ain't going there either. I'm not going to Bama either. We can scratch that off the list. And Auburn, they told me straight up, like, man, listen, we're gonna put the ball in your hands. Matter of fact, you will be our Wildcat quarterback. Mine, we had Cam Newton. And if you look back, I don't know if you guys really know the history of it, but when you look at our roster, the 2010 roster, I was the Wildcat quarterback with Cam on the team. Before I hurt my knee the Clemson game, when we did Wildcat, I came in the game. I was the running quarterback. Cam was the passer. And it just crazy how it all worked, because when I went down with the season-ending injury, Cam took over all those snaps. He scored on almost all of them.
Right.
I'm like, that could have been me. But me being a great teammate, I'm proud of my brother, because who's to say he would have won the Heisman if I would have took those snaps?
Right.
I'm taking off his plate, So at the end of the day, I got hurt, and things changed, and he took off. And I'm proud of him. That's my brother for life.
Now, you were talking about your recruitment,
Mm-hmm.
and you mentioned briefly earlier about Coach Chiz. He was telling you about the family and all in. That's why you chose Auburn. Tell us that story.
Yeah, my mom had just passed, and all the teams who was recruiting, you know, they offer everything, whatever they feel they need to get you with, they gonna try it. And Coach Chig straight offered me family, love. And he was like, look, man, over here, you're like our son. You got Coach Troop, who really was my recruiter. He was like he's still to this day, I talk to Troop almost once or twice a week. And that's a lot for someone who's coaching way in Duke, you know, and it's been 11 years. You know what I'm saying? So our relationship is still going strong. And they just gave me the family feeling. They basically took me in as one of theirs. Got to eat dinner with them and their family. Man, it was just a family business, and it sold me. It sold me because as a kid, that's what I was missing. That part my mom had left, just passed away. I just needed that love. I just needed someone to just hold me tight, squeeze me, and let me know everything was gonna be okay. Mm-hmm. And that what those guys did. They had my back in the roughest time of my life.
So let's go in and talk about, before we get to your playing days, how do you feel like Brian Harsin is going to do down on the plains at Auburn?
I think he's going to be very successful. You know, Malzahn, my guy.
Yes.
Love him. One of my favorite coaches ever. Top 2 for sure. And when he left and they hired Harsin, a piece of me was still all Malzahn. You know, so I was kind of questioning it, like every fan.
Right.
And I had to sit down with Coach Harsin, and my whole perspective changed.
Right.
I am Team Harsin. Like, the plan he put together, the way he got the guys going in the building, the way the guys talk about him behind his back in a positive way, he got me sold.
Yes.
And we looked eye to eye and had a man-to-man conversation. I'm a fan.
Well, a quick follow-up to that. How do you feel like Coach Malzahn will do at his next job at Central Florida? How well do you think he will do down there?
He won't be that long. He won't be that long. And I hate to say it, he will probably go undefeated.
Yes.
This year. And a big school will be knocking on his door.
Yes.
Because you got to think, this guy is the only guy who could consistently beat the guy up the road.
Yes.
And he's one of the greats, if not the greatest college coach ever. So, and there's only one guy in college right now, well, 2, Dabo, do it once every now and then. But Gus, the only one who could kind of consistently do it. So,
yes.
I mean, teams need Gus. He know it. The world know it. College football know it. He won't be that long. But I'm rooting for him big time.
Right. Coach Reed, let me ask you this, since I don't know if you're used to that yet.
I like
Coach Reed, I'm only the first one to put it out there on you.
I like how that sounds right there now.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach. Do you want to be coaching on the college level one day?
Yes, sir. No doubt. I wouldn't, because it was a debate with me and my girl. Should I start off in college? Should I start off in high school? I'm a guy, I write my goals down, and I make sure I crush them. And starting in high school was one of my things that I wrote in 2016 when I wrote my goals down, because you got your goals. My goals was to make it to the NFL. Okay, I did that. Now was my next 10 years. So, of course, it was playing. Okay, playing got cut short. Okay, now what's my next 10 years? So I said I wanted to become a high school head coach first, off the dump. I didn't want to be a position coach. I wanted to jump right in the fire. Yes. And then from there, change some lives, then go to college. Because then now I could feel like I live my purpose. Mm-hmm. I did everything that God put in my mind to do. So that was my plan. It's been my plan. I actually turned some colleges down for these high schools. I hope it don't come back to bite me in my butt, but I actually turned some colleges down for it.
Trovon, quick follow-up to my last question. What if Coach Harsin called you today and offered you a job? Would you take it?
It depends on what it is, honestly. Because I didn't want to take the GA route. I really didn't want to go back to school. I did it. I did exactly what my mama planned for me to do. Before she passed, I graduated from college. First one in my family. Probably the first one in my city. From the community I'm from. And I didn't want to go back to school, honestly. And that's part of the jobs that I turned down, some GA jobs. I would say depend on what it is. If it's something that can make sure me and my family good, I'm there for sure. But if it's the same level as what I'm gonna do as a high school head coach, I'm going to get this coaching experience in high school. Then now, when you call me, it's a whole different ball game when we talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What you mentioned a couple of GA spots. I reached out to you. What were some of those positions for have a GA?
It was just defense. Period. Some guys offer offense because they know I'm an offensive minded guy. I played quarterback in high school. Played receiver here for 3-4 years. I'm still offense in my head, you know. But I'm also now I know defense a lot, you know. So I transitioned, so I could kind of do both. I'm a jack of all trades, special teams, whatever. I played a lot of special teams in the NFL, so I kind of learned football. When I say football, I mean every aspect of the game. So I'm blessed to be one of the guys who are able to play both sides in college, learn that, and go to the league, be able to play all different type of positions. So I'm blessed, man.
Yes.
Hey, Trovon, fun question.
Talk to me.
That picture behind you. I see the SEC logo on that picture, but yeah.
You see
Yeah,
it?
what's that? Did you do that yourself?
Nah, that's a team effort right there, my guy. That was a whole bunch of guys who believed in each other. A whole bunch of guys who went 3-9 the year before.
Wow.
And now I got pictures like this in my wall. I got rings in my safe. I love this place.
You got any other fun pictures there behind you?
Say it again.
I said, do you have any other fun pictures there behind you from your playing days?
Yeah, I got my
Oh yeah.
my Seattle Seahawks. Right there, I got my Chargers. I got them all around the room. These right here from my some paintings some guys made for me. My celebrity games. I have a few around, man. Have a few around. Gotta remind myself every now and then.
I gotta ask you, which one's your favorite?
This one right here. This
Nice.
one right here. The NFL ones, they're great, and all my NFL accomplishments, they're great, but nothing is like that orange and blue. Like we really battled, we really fought for that, and we was a bond of brothers that did it. Like I said, we went 3-9 the year before, so we went from pain and suffering to winning it, and we should have won it all, but I'll say that for another day.
Right. Well, let's go on ahead real quick and talk about some of your playing days. Let's start with the national championship game versus Oregon. Talk about that game for just a minute and what you learned about that game.
Because you were hurt, right?
Yeah, the Oregon game, I was hurt.
Yeah.
But my final two schools was Auburn and Oregon.
Oh wow. I didn't know
That's
that.
the crazy part. My final two schools was Auburn and Oregon.
Hey, did you take a recruiting trip to Oregon?
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
It was great. It was great. They had me. They had me. If Oregon was Auburn, and if there was switch and Oregon was right here, I don't went to Oregon because it was so. They had so much stuff. Like you got to think, I'm a kid. I'm 17. I see my name on the back of 20 jerseys. Like Auburn got
That's
2
crazy.
jerseys. Like LSU got maybe 3 jerseys. These people had my name on the back of 20 jerseys. Like T. Reed. And I know they didn't have a T. Reed on the team that was number 1, like myself. And they told me straight up, they was like, we saving this number 1 for you. Our quarterback wanted. Darren Thomas wanted the number. He was number 5. When I didn't come, he switched to 1. I don't know if you see. It's a lot of history that you gotta know behind my story, but that's how it went. He was number 5. He wanted number 1. They told him he couldn't get it because I had a chance of coming there. I didn't go there. He got it. Then they gave it to the guy who they took instead of me, Josh Huff. So
if you went to Eugene, Oregon to play football for the Ducks,
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'd have been mostly on offense, defense? What were they telling you?
Offense for sure. You see how that offense was running? They couldn't be stopped. In them years, like 2010, 2011, Oregon was the team. They was the team. Like nobody couldn't stop that fast-paced offense, especially in their conference. They was running through everybody. LaMichael James up for the Heisman. You got guys like DeAnthony Thomas killing out there. You had Kenyon Barner, who's a 3-time Super Bowl champ now. He was out there balling, and I just would have fit right in with those guys. My skill set would have put me. I could have played running back, receiver, wherever they needed me on offense. I could have been there for them.
So let's talk about that game for a minute, the Oregon game. Talk about that experience, please.
It was crazy. It was the whole week because you got like we young. It's freshman year. Our eyes wide open. We wet behind the ear. We really don't know what's going on as a group. But only thing Chiz kept telling us was, this class I just signed, which is the 2010 class, will change Auburn forever. And it did. Like, we had 2 national championship appearances, 2 SEC championships in 4 years. You know, so he said that class would change Auburn forever, and it did. That game was just crazy. Like, they had the perfect game plan to shut down Cam, just enough so he wouldn't be Cam Newton. And guys who was slow pace all seasons, the Cody Burns, the guys like that, like the Damon Washingtons, who was struggling a little bit during the season covering, they catching picks, Cody catching touchdowns. So it was a total team effort, and it irks me when people say Cam did more with less, because we had some seniors on that team, like that O-line. You guys could have got back there and got 200 rushing yards for sure. Because them guys was blocking. It was all seniors. They all had over 40-something starts, you know. And we had a team. He was just the best one on the team. Mm-hmm. And we all knew that. And we embraced him as that. And once he embraced us as his teammates and embraced everyone as his teammates and not fans. Because you could get caught up in, hey, Cam, can I get this autograph from my sister? She really loves you. If he start treating us like fans, like, nah, man, I ain't doing that, then it could become a problem with the team. But he never did that. He signed it, and it was that. He signed it for whoever, and it was that. And he always put us first. He always put the team first. And he told us, I'm not going to let us lose this game. That's why, if you notice, Cam tried to get that last sneak in before we kicked that field goal. He wanted to put us on his back for real. They told Cam to take a knee. He decided upon himself to QB sneaker so he could put us in, but they stopped him. That's how we ended up kicking the field goal. But he was a guy who he wouldn't let us lose. Kentucky, one of the toughest games ever. Randall Cobb out there looking like Cam Newton. But Cam didn't let us lose. He jumped in the air and threw a ball down the field to Cody. Like, he told Coach Chiz, you go behind my back and ask him. The last drive of the game, he was like, nobody getting the ball but me. Straight up. Oh. And we did all the running plays. And they couldn't stop it. And then we got down there and kicked the field goal. He was just a guy who wouldn't let us lose. And I knew for a fact it was a no-brainer that we wasn't going to lose to Oregon. It don't matter how good they was. It don't matter what they was going to bring. If they would have scored 40, we would have scored 41 because we had Cam Newton. It's that simple.
Hey, Trovon. Have you met or do you have a relationship with Cole Kublik?
Cole Kublik.
Played at Auburn, got the radio show there in Birmingham. He's a sideline reporter for ESPN.
I probably did. I just got to see a face. I probably got to see a face.
We were talking about offensive line earlier this year on the show. Cole was on our show. He's been on our show a couple of times. Been a wonderful guest. He told me and Steven we couldn't run behind the offensive line of Alabama and do anything, but he could go at least 40 yards. I was like,
behind Alabama line?
Steven, I know I got a little game left in me. I know. You were talking about Alabama, and I was pulling up my notes from last week's game. The backup running back for Alabama, Jace McClellan, looks like he had a little promising game there. 10 rushes, 99 yards. Did you see anything so impressive out of Jace, or is that offensive line? Can can me and Steven run behind that offensive line and get 40 yards in the shape that we're in now?
No, not you two, but I maybe could. I think Jace McClellan's got a chance to be a pretty good back.
I know 45.
Behind Alabama line,
I can
y'all
run.
should walk in the end zone. You should walk in the end zone.
Yeah.
They get the 5 best linemen in the country go there every year.
Yes.
By the time he is junior, he was the 5-star 3 years ago. He's ready to play now. He's jacked up. Yeah, they get the best guys.
Steven's going to hate me for that. Steven, you're going to have to put that clip in of Cole saying that we can't run. And so then Trovon can say that we could run and score. You know, I'm going with Trovon. Hey, no one's calling Cole coach. Everyone's about to call Trovon coach. I'm going with coach on this one.
I love that. I love how that sounds right there. Yeah. Come on, Cole. You got to chill now, Cole.
Coach believes in me. I believe in Coach.
Yes, sir. I love how that sounds.
Well, let's also talk about another game. I believe it was 2012. You actually had a 40-yard touchdown against New Mexico State. Talk about that play and how exciting that was for you as a wide receiver.
As a wide receiver, it was okay. I did what I was supposed to do against those guys. It meant the world for me because that was the game I wore my fallen teammate, Ladarius Phillips' number, and it was actually his jersey. It was so big, it was past my knees. I had to really tuck it in, and it was still big. And I remember Coach Scott Leffler, he looked at me. He was like, "Go get you a touchdown in that jersey." Mm-hmm. And because I think he had pulled the starter, so we all had got out. He was like, "Go get you a touchdown in the jersey." Put me in, shake route, ran down the sideline. It was one of the best moments ever. I ran to the sideline just crying because it wasn't about me crying because of a touchdown. It was more so I got the first touchdown in that jersey. And I know for a fact it was because of him. Because I had no reason to be in the game at that point. We was beating him. He had pulled the starters. I had no reason to be in. And he was like, "Go get you a touchdown." I just so happened to be standing on side of him. He could have told that to anybody. But he was like, "Go get you a touchdown in that jersey." And I did. It's crazy. We 40 yards away. It ain't like he called a bomb that he going to throw it to me in the end zone. He told me to go get a touchdown on this plane. It happened just like that. Shout out to him.
Man, that's awesome.
That's a great
talk. Real talk.
Hey, Trovon, what was your favorite moment playing at Auburn?
Kansas State game, by far.
Yep.
Kansas State game. It's the I've been to 2 natties, 2 SEC championships. That was by far the livest game I ever played in my life.
Oh, wow.
That stadium was crazy. Crazy. I done played in Tuscaloosa, Tennessee, all the biggest stadiums. That little stadium in Kansas was the craziest stadium I ever played in my life. And that was my best game as an Auburn Tiger, by far.
All right, let me follow up to that. Let's take it back to the SEC. What are some of the loudest stadiums in the SEC that you've played in?
LSU. It's not close.
I agree.
It's not close. And the SEC is not close because every time we went down there, we got whooped. So they was just loud the whole time. That get aggravating. They up by 30 and they still loud. They need to go home now. You know, so LSU was by far the best stadium. Then probably who next? South Carolina was kind of crazy. That's when it was good. They had Melvin Ingram and those guys. Alshon Jeffrey. It was kind of crazy. Arkansas was all right. I ain't never get to play in Florida.
Right.
Bama was cool. They cheer. They only cheer when they do something good. You know, you got, and I understand that, but you got teams like LSU who could not be doing something good. They still making noise. When that's aggravating because, like, why are you cheering? Like, what are you cheering for and nothing happened yet? And so it just get crazy in LSU, man. It's LSU by far the best, one of the best SEC stadiums after Auburn, for sure.
Who's got the worst? What's the worst atmosphere in the SEC?
Vanderbilt. and it's because those they don't get the guys they supposed to get. Honestly, the requirements to get in Vanderbilt too high. It's too much, and your best athletes sometimes don't have the best grades. It's just sad to say, but it's like that, and they're not gonna have a 4.0 to get into Vanderbilt. So they don't get the guys they need to compete in the SEC. That's why they always at the bottom of the totem pole. But they play hard. I mean, I lost to them before. I lost to Vanderbilt, and those guys play hard. They get some guy. They get the 2 and 3 stars, but they not like the Auburn, the Bama, the LSU get a few 5 stars, 4 stars. They don't get none of that. They get whatever left over, and they go out there and play with it. So whoever take the Vanderbilt job, the coaches, they're appreciated in the coaching world because that's a hard job. You know you're not getting the best, but you're still trying. And I commend you, like Coach Mason. I met Coach Mason, one of the best coaches, masterminds I ever met. I sat down and talked to him. His energy and everything's great. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, how was he a loser over there? And when you start to sit down and think about it, then you figure it out. Like, he didn't have the players. But now we about to see a different Coach Mason because he could get the players now. He could get them. He could get them here. So he's gonna rise real quick to be a head coach again soon, for sure.
Well, all right, Trovon, you were talking about loud stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on these? Because I know that you actually played against Mississippi State in 2014 where they were highly ranked. Talk about the hype going into that game and your experience in that game where Dak Prescott went off.
That stadium, it was crazy. It was loud. I actually forgot about that one on my list. That was one of the loudest games too. We still say they cheated us. That wasn't no offensive PI on Sammy.
No, I agree with that.
And we was on the road and they was in trouble. But hats out to those guys. They came out there. They came out with it. That crowd was ready. It was another one of those games where they were just cheering for nothing. They were so proud to be I think there was number 2 or number 1 team.
Yeah.
They were so proud to be that. Like, it was crazy. And they came out there and showed why they was the number 1 team. They beat us. They got us. They beat us like by 14 or something like that. I can't remember. But Dak played his butt off, and that was the first time I actually seen Dak beat Dak. If that makes sense. Right. The previous year, we wasn't worried about Dak. I don't even know if Dak was there, and that's no disrespect.
Right.
You know, because I was on offense, so I didn't never study the film to watch their offense. I only watched their defense.
Right.
But when I actually got on defense and was able to study Dak, it was like, okay, he good, but he got to see us, and he came out and showed us like, hey, I'm better than good, and that's why he's Dak Prescott. That's why you got to get paid the top dollars in the NFL.
Yeah. All right, being on defense, how difficult was it to stop him in that game?
For me,
mm-hmm.
I wasn't really worried about that. I wasn't, because he had a big receiver, number 1.
Yes.
De'Runnya Wilson.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
He was my main focus. I was the biggest corner on the team, so they was like, you got him. And I made sure I held. I think he scored one time. He went in motion, then he came back and he scored.
Yes. On
the other side on Mincy, but when I was on him, I was locked in. I wasn't really worried about Dak. I was making sure Dak and him don't connect at all, and that was my job, and I made sure that happened.
Yes.
Trovon, what were some guys that when you were on defense that you just hated to be out in the open field with?
When I was on defense?
Yeah.
Nobody, for real, because it was. You got to think, football. It's crazy how football changed, because when I was here at Auburn, and I hate when I sound old. I hate when I sound old. But when I was here at Auburn, you got to think LSU was still in the I formation. They only had 1 or 2 receivers out there, so I wasn't worried about them. I knew I had a safety over the top. LSU, Bama, all those guys was I formation. Now those guys are 4 wide every play.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see me not being scared, but like a little worried if I got Chase and Jefferson on my side, with Terrence Marshall coming across, Judy and Ruggs on my side with Waddle. You know, like I could see me being a little big-eyed with them, but when it's just one receiver and one man, I like me every time.
Yes.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
about that whole process going from offense to defense. Who brought it up to you? Did you agree to it? Were you forced into it? Were you happy to do it? Just talk about that whole process and then how it led you to the NFL.
When I went to the Army All-American game, my coach, the head coach there, he was like, "Hey, you're a corner." Now I'm sitting up here looking at him like, man, why are you saying that? Because mine, LSU and Bama just told me that for recruiting. So I'm like, why I gotta be a corner? And he was like, listen, you playing corner in this game and you're gonna play receiver. I was like, bet. And I ended up guarding the best receiver. Now mine, I could play corner because in high school on 3rd down or whatever, coach used to be like, go guard the best player. And that was my job. I'm guarding the best player. And I just never wanted to come up and hit nobody because I was so used to dodging hits as a quarterback and as an offensive player. I ain't never want to just go thump nobody. Got to the All-American game, played corner. That whole week of practice, I ended up winning defense MVP at practice. And get to college, now I'm telling my pops, I'm like, man, I want to play corner. He like, what? He like, man, you crazy. Go play receiver. I'm like, all right. So I went play receiver. And then I knew if I wanted to make my dreams come true to be the NFL player that I promised my mom on her deathbed, I had to make a change. And it was either they was going to let me do it, I was going to hit it and leave Auburn to do it. Because it was something I had to do for my inner self. As much as I love Auburn, I was trying to. That's why I was pushing to graduate early in case I had to do that.
Oh, wow.
In case I had to leave, and I couldn't quit on my brother.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way, so I had to. I begged Malzahn because he didn't want to let me do it because he was like, "Listen, T, you are a special part of my offense. You are my go-to guy. You are the guy. If I need someone blocked, I'm calling on you. If I need a first down, and they got their best corner on Sammy, I'm looking your way. Whatever I need on special teams, I know you could do it." Like I was just like his gadget guy, his go-to. I forgot what he used to call me. It was some little crazy word. But I was his guy, and I was like, Coach, I understand that, but I got to do this for me. Like I'm not being selfish. None of that. And he was like, okay, give me a day to think about it. He actually took a whole day. Now, when somebody say give me a day, that normally means about an hour or 2. This man actually took 24 hours, called me in his office. I went back up there, and he was like, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do, X, Y, and Z. I was like, okay, bet. And I did it, and I went over there. Right off the dump, I earned playing time. Just because I knew I could play corner, my biggest thing was tackling. And I used to work on it every day after practice. Every day. I'm talking about I used to stay after practice 30, 45. I used to be the last one to leave every day. Me and Coach Smith. Every day. And I'm just working on everything to be a great corner. Because my time was real limited. Like I got there in the spring. I only got the fall, then this combine and all that. So I gotta really learn about corner defense and defensive line stunts. I gotta actually know these things within months. When other people have been doing this since they was kids. So it was my decision, man. I moved over there, and the move changed my life. Set me and my family up for life.
Well, I've got 2 final questions for you. The first one is, walk us through the excitement of the Prayer at Jordan Hare in 2013 where you guys actually came from behind and beat Georgia?
The prayer in Jordan Hare. It was kind of one of them moments for me. It was up and down because the play before that, I got rocked on the sideline. I don't know if you guys know. Nick threw me an over route. Safety come up, blast me. So I'm out the game. He hit me so hard, like my back, I lost my breath. So Quan got to run in. That's why you see Quan coming in motion on the Prayer at Jordan Hare and Rick running the post. I supposed to be coming in motion. It was just, so while Rick caught it, I was with the trainers getting worked on. And he caught it. And the trainer took off running. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, my back is killing me right now. He took off running. I was like, oh, we did it. And, hey, it was history, man. It was history. I ended up getting treatment and stuff. They took care of me, make sure I was right for the next week. But that play before that, I got blasted. And if you guys go back and look, you're going to see. You're going to see what I mean. You're going to text me and be like, I seen it. I got blasted. And it was crazy, man. Shout out to my dog, Rick. That was big time.
Trovon, was that the hardest hit you ever took, the play before? Was that the hardest hit you ever took?
For sure. In college. Because I was a guy, I ain't taking no hits. I get down before you come hit me. Like, I'm not about to just let you blow me up. That's a chance of you getting a little easy fumble for hitting my funny bone or hitting my arm wrong. And, you know, I always had a quarterback mentality. Don't get hit. And that's how I play football. Don't get hit.
And my last one for you is talk about the game the next week, the kick six. Talk about that one and your excitement on the sidelines when that happened.
Nah, that was crazy. Listen, the prayer in Jordan Hare was crazy. But the kick six, because leading up to the kick six, right, you got to think about it. If you know your history with Auburn, you know Chris Davis was, well, in the building, you know Chris Davis was one of the biggest Alabama fans ever.
Yes.
He grew up an Alabama fan. I remember freshman year, we used to sit down in the hall, and he always used to talk about how good Bama is and how they used to whoop Auburn and things of that nature. And for it to be him to break their hearts like that, I remind him about that to this day. Hey, bro, do you still love them guys up the road? He'd be like, nah, man, I'm all orange and blue now. But we still joke about that because me and him was roommates. We was roommates my freshman year. And he used to always talk about Bama. Man, them boys got this up there. We ain't got this. He on FaceTime with a few of his boys who went there. Man, look at them boys got this. We ain't got nobody to go to Alabama. Just joking around. And he is the one who ended up breaking their heart. So that's why as soon as he did it, I sprinted to the end zone. He under the crowd. I'm grabbing him like, I thought you was an Alabama fan. I'm yelling at him. I'm hitting him all in his head. It was just some crazy stuff, man. But that's my dude right there.
I got you. Well, man, I bet y'all partied like it was 1999 after that.
What? I have to talk about that off air.
Yeah.
They might not want to sign me as a coach after I tell you.
All right, Trovon, we're almost family friendly. Give us one small sample of the party that night afterwards, after that kick six.
It was just because we got off the field so late.
Yes.
You know, like we got off the field so late, so everyone had to run to the dorm, take a shower. We all stayed in the same dorm, you know, so that's how Malzahn made it. He made it a team, a real team. So everybody's in a dorm. Everybody got a roommate that's on the team. And everyone get there. Now, everybody like, man, look, we got an hour, then we going downtown. So before we go, everyone out there, you know, everyone went pull out their best outfits. Everyone had whatever you were saving that whole year, you put it on. And I mean, we went downtown and we had fun like we were supposed to have fun after winning the game like that.
Good deal.
Well, man, thank you so much for joining us. And real quick, man, before we let you go, is there anything that you would like to give a shout out to or plug or tell people how they can find you on social media?
Nah, shout out to you guys, man. What you guys got going on is something good. Keep up the good work, man. I check you guys out. I remember when you first reached out to me. I'm sorry we couldn't do it back then, but
yes,
we got it done. And you got my number anytime you want to do it again. If you want to reach out to another player and you can't get him, let me know. I'll reach out to him and see what's up.
Okay. Well, man, thank you so much for your time. And War Eagle.
War Eagle.
And, good luck on your coaching search. And we will do it again soon, Trovon.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
Hey,
thank you.
Thank you.
I want to make sure you remember me. I'm the first one that called you coach. Best of luck, coach.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate that. Y'all have a good one.
Take care, Trovon.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. Well, Heath, that is going to do it for this edition of the Stingray Show. We hope that you have enjoyed the interview there with Trovon Reed. And I tell you what, man, he was a big-time player there for Auburn, and especially the year that he switched over to the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he was such a playmaker on offense, and then to switch over to defense. I remember when I heard that news years ago that he was switching over, I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, and I thought that was going to be a massive year for him this last year, but it proved to be the right call for him. It took him to the NFL, and he had a career there in the NFL. But the great thing about Trovon is he realized what his team needed,
Yes.
and served that need for his team. So he took the sacrifice to do what's best, and it paid off for him in the long run and for Auburn. So what a tremendous opportunity it was for Trovon to play both sides of the ball. And now he's about to be a coach. He knows both sides of the ball.
Yes.
And that'll be a huge beneficial to him.
And for some reason we lost Heath, but on that note, we are going to sign off on the Stingray Show. We actually have Heath back. Heath, I do not know what happened there, but I was just about to sign off on the Stingray Show.
Wow. I don't know what happened, man.
I have no idea either, but
Did I black out again? What happened?
yeah, you just left for some reason. I don't know if you got pissed off or what, but you just left.
No. Trovon's going to be highly successful no matter what he does.
Yes.
He's coaching offense and defense. Trovon's going to be great. I don't think he'll be on the high school level long. I think we'll see him in the college game. And I wish nothing but the absolute best for a guy like Trovon Reed. Absolute best.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Stingray Show. We hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And as always, God bless. We'll see you next time right here on the Stingray Show. The Dogs and Stingray are coming for you. This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good afternoon, Mr. Feinbaum. Stingray here, and I'm about to shoot the bull with you like all the Auburn students do down at Auburn. Worst defense ever! So without further ado, here is the biggest. Alabama going for the field goal. The kick is up. It is away. It is no good. Chris Davis bringing it out of the end zone. Oh, he's got blockers. Chris Davis up the sideline. Here he goes. Here we go, guys. Dobbs back to pass. Launching the ball. Jennings. He's got it. Jennings. He's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. They shocked the Dogs in Sanford Stadium. Are you kidding me? My God.